Welcome, everyone, to the Bucks County Living Podcast. I'm your host, Alex Neff, your real estate resource. Today, I am joined by Lynne Kelleher, the founder of 100 Women Who Care in Bucks County and Realtor extraordinaire at Berkshire, Hathaway, HomeServices, Fox, and Roach in the Yardley Newtown office.
That's me.
Good morning, Lynne. It's so good to see you again.
Yeah.
First episode that we recorded had some technical difficulties, and now I'm so excited to talk about this again because it is such a wonderful organization. And I love your energy, Lynne, and we just hit it off right off the bat.
We did.
As soon as we connect, as soon as I started in this office back in, a couple years ago now at this point, it's hard to believe. And you were always one of those veteran agents that I looked up to.
Oh, well, aren't you nice?
That everybody had talked about how you were just such a warm, kind, loving, personable human being, and it was just, I'm so glad that we just kind of gravitated towards each other because
Me too.
I just feel like we both kind of have that same warmth about us.
I totally agree. And it's funny how people like that gravitate together, and I just kind of feel like, being kind matters.
It really does.
And I think that in this business, I've been in this business for 30-something years, and it's easy, and think some people do kind of take themselves a tad too seriously. And while I take the business seriously, I try not to take myself too seriously and think that, let ego get into things and think I've got all the answers. I mean, I've had some pretty big successes. And for somebody like me who only went to a community college, this has been a really good business for me. I don't know where I could have had these kind of successes with the level of formal education that I have. I have a lot of education, but not formal education. And so the industry's been very good to me. And if I can help somebody else gain some clarity or avoid some mistakes or tweak their business slightly, hey, I'm happy to do it. So.
Exactly. And sometimes it's really just shifting a little bit to get back on the right course, because I think as newer agents and even more experienced agents too, the technology is just growing so fast. And there's a lot of things happening. I was just listening to a podcast about how AI is going to change the real estate industry, not just the transaction of things, but marketing and communicating.
Right.
So,
which is exciting, but it's intimidating.
It is,
especially for an old warhorse like me, who when I first started, we didn't have word processing, let alone, there was no mail merging of names, let alone, what we're doing today or AI. So it can be kind of intimidating. I'll be honest and say I'm kind of glad I'm at the other end of the spectrum in terms of my career than just starting out at this age, because it's a lot.
Didn't you have like an MLS book that would come out once a week?
Oh yeah, we'd carry that thing around. We'd wait for it to come out. You'd flip through the pages and you'd give the clients the old one so they could look through it. And I mean, when I think about the changes, well, of course in life, but in this industry, I mean, everything was more difficult. Doing marketing was difficult. You couldn't, because there was no word processing. You couldn't do, every letter that you wanted to send out, you had to physically type in the name and address, unless you wanted to do mass mailings, which was never quite my, how I thought was the most effective thing to do. So, yeah, it was, it was labor intensive, but hey, it was a simpler time too.
And that's one of the reasons I think that you are so successful in this business, because there are some fundamentals in real estate, especially with how we treat our business, with either working in the business or on the business. There's some fundamentals that never change. There's something that I personally believe will never ever change, is just getting belly to belly with another human being 5 to 10 times every single day. Just getting in front of people.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to always be talking about real estate.
No, it does not, which is why Alex, that's a great segue into my 100 women. But it's that, there are certain basics. And I think when you work in this business, one of the things I like to say is I love this business because nobody's the boss of me. But I'm a relatively self-directed person. If you are not, and even for somebody like me that is pretty self-directed, sometimes the problem is that nobody's the boss of me.
Right.
And you get in this, like, you go down a rabbit hole or you get in this zone, and if you don't collaborate with people that are more experienced than you, or me, people that are a little bit newer and have a fresher perspective, it's really early to go down, have that tunnel vision if you're not having conversations, which is why, I like coming to the office. I don't mind working from home sometimes, but I like coming to the office because of the exchange of ideas, and you talk to people, and I think that's important.
Plus, your office is just so beautifully decorated and cozy.
That's because I spent an inordinate amount of time there. So, it's got to have the right vibe, it's got to reflect me. And, unfortunately, when we moved to the new office, they put the brakes on letting me paint it, my bright golden color. I kind of put the brakes on. That's why I had to pivot and accommodate in other ways. So, yeah, it's all good.
You did an incredible job. So I want to dive in to your nonprofit, 100 Women Who Care in Bucks County. What is this organization? You guys do a lot of stuff for a very short amount of time that you actually need.
It is a brilliant concept that I wish I could say that I thought of myself, but I didn't. I stole it from another group in Chester County, where I went with my sister several years ago, and was going out to meet her for a drink. She said, "Come on, let's go to this meeting." And I went, and I thought to myself, "This is brilliant. I can do this." And I came back to Bucks County, and with the help of the people in Chester County, I did it. And the concept is that you get 100 women. The group is called 100 Women Who Care, Bucks County. You get 100 women together who will agree to meet for 1 hour, once a quarter, and donate $100. So you come to the meeting, which, by the way, is never in a church basement. It's always someplace where we can get a glass of wine, because I feel like if I'm going out on a Monday or Tuesday night, I want a cocktail. So we come out, you grab a drink at the bar, you sit, you listen to 3 different charities make their case at the end of the hour, and they have 5 minutes to make their case on why they need the money. The only requirement to be considered is that the funds must stay in Bucks County, and you must be a 501c3, so no good causes. Everybody gets their 5 minutes to talk. You have questions and answer. At the end of the presentation, the members vote, and the money is distributed. It used to be that the top vote getter got all the money, but once I started to get a lot more members, we decided that the money would be distributed amongst the 3 charities based on the vote percentage. So you had 70% of the vote, you get 70% of the money. Then when we're done voting, if you're a member, anybody can nominate a charity. We put the names in a hat, 3 are picked, those 3 present at the next meeting. So when I first started, back in 2014, I started with people who were from my center of influence. I had 35 women that met. I now have 250 women.
Wow.
Right. So our June meeting was a couple of weeks ago, and we donated in 1 hour. We raised and will donate $25,000, $100,000 a year in 4 hours. So it's just an amazing concept. I used to run the charity auction for the Board of Realtors, and it was so much work, because you hit up the same merchants, local merchants, who are supporting every golf outing, every little league team, every bingo, whatever, and you're going to them and asking them to donate it again, because Walmart isn't donating, Kmart isn't or Target isn't donating. It's the local businesses. So you got to hassle them. They got to have a team of people together to put this event together. Then you got to hassle people to come. Then you got to hassle them to vote. bid on things they don't want or they don't need, all while they're having bad chicken and even worse wine. And at the end of the day, I mean, I think I did that for over 15 years. I don't think we ever raised $25,000, and I do it in an hour. So, and there's most people, I think, can afford to donate $100 once a quarter. And a lot of people can. And, when you think that, you look at their $100 in isolation, while you don't want to belittle it, it doesn't have a tremendous amount of impact to an organization. But you put your $250, your $100 together with 250 other women's $100. Well, now, as my mother would say, we're cooking with gas, because and I think it's brilliant. I think that I like the fact that I support the community that supports me. We depend on the community to support our businesses. And I like giving back. I think there's a lot of need. And I think that most people are of generous heart, and they would like to help others in their community. They just don't have the time to do it. And so it's a great way for you to feel great about helping others and not having it, to have it take on a life of its own,
I think you made a few really, really wonderful points there. I mean, the organization just sounds like it has taken off since it was September 2014 it started. So in 9 years, you've grown from 35 women to 250 women and continue to grow. You're going to need a stadium to house you.
I know, wouldn't that be awesome?
But I think that now, especially in a society where everybody has something else going on, right? There's always something to do. And there's nothing wrong with putting in a little hard work for the board of realtors, right? But to find, even on a macro level, to find something that's a little more efficient. That is, I mean, maybe even a lot more efficient. It sounds
way more.
It sounds like a lot of cold calling, a lot of being in front of the business owners, and they're bidding on, their, massage spa tickets, it's just, who, like, oh, that's wonderful. I could just go on my own if I'm a business owner, to relax for the 1 hour a month that I get off from the business, right? But it sounds like a lot of hard work, but to find a more efficient process is, even in a macro view, that's really what society is looking for, right? That's
and
what
to
we
make
want.
and I think people do want to help others. I mean, call me a Pollyanna, but it's just that so many people between work, or maybe work and family and school, maybe it's caring for elderly parents, whatever it is, sometimes people, they just can't fit one more thing on their plate. And you don't even have to come to the meeting. You can't vote if you don't come to the meeting, and you're still on the hook for the money. But hey, if a meeting comes up that you can't make, it's all right. I'll still take your $100.
And you'll know it's going to a good cause.
Exactly right. And the other thing is that, and to kind of segue back to the business, is that for anybody in your audience that is self-employed. And it doesn't have to be a realtor. Maybe you're a financial planner. Maybe you're a mortgage guy. Maybe you're an insurance guy. Maybe you're I don't know what. But it's a way to connect with your clients without constantly asking them for the business. And so, and it doesn't, and like I have, like in my group, I have several other realtors, because it's not about me. It's about doing good. So whether it's me in front of the microphone, or you sitting in the crowd as another agent or as a mortgage person, it gives you the opportunity in several ways. One, gives you something else to say to your client. Like, hey, I just joined this organization. It's fabulous. There's a meeting coming up. What I did when I first got together, as I said to my 35 people, I said, come, first round's on me. So you maybe you would bring a group, reach out to your client base and say, hey, I want you to come check out this fabulous organization with me. Let's meet beforehand for a drink. The first one's on me. Now you've got yourself a little mini client event. You know, it gives you a reason for the quarterly meetings to reach out to people and say, hey, the next meeting is coming up. You know, so again, you work it into your marketing plan so that it gives you a reason to contact people. It also presents you, gives your client or your center of influence a more rounded view of not Lynne Kelleher, the realtor, Lynne Kelleher, the person. Lynne Kelleher of generous heart who cares about her community and is trying to help her. You know, it rounds you out in a positive way to your center of influence.
I think that's really important because, especially in this business where there's been a huge influx of people getting licensed over the last few years, people don't hire us just because we have some business expertise. They hire us, I feel, because we are the whole package. We are the kind and loving human beings that are also really good at negotiating for the best deal possible, whether they're looking to buy or sell.
I think that's critical. And you're right. People don't hire us because we've got the nicest postcard or the prettiest business card or whatever. They hire us because buying or selling a home is a hugely emotional thing. It's not a transaction. It's a life-changing thing. And they want to know, or they should want to know, that the person that is guiding them through that path cares for them, will do the right thing for them, and hey, is a shark when it comes to negotiating or whatever, or guiding them on how to structure their offer so that it gets accepted, or how to analyze 10 offers so you know which one is you know the best one, because it's not just about price, it's about terms. And that depth of you as a person, it gives you confidence and invokes confidence in you, of them, from them. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. No, it's so true, because I can't even tell you how many deals that I've worked on where they were friends of mine and they went with a different agent before, and they were like, yeah, this was just like, you know, our friend's mom's friend's referral, that we don't really know them that well, and we didn't get a good taste in our mouth from working with them. They thought like every house was the one, and you know, Alex, we know that you're a straight shooter, you're very honest. We want to work with you.
Yep.
And you know, you'll call it how it is, right? If the house smells like cat pee, you'll be like,
right.
It smells like cat pee in here.
And hey, you can buy it, but just remember, it smells like cat pee.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Hey, and I know you love this house, but that's 3 Mile Island back there,
yep.
you know, or whatever.
Yep, exactly. So, and I think incorporating this 100 plus women who care into your business. I mean, you just said it so beautifully, is that we depend on the community for our business.
Yeah.
So why would we not support the community that allows us to live the life that we want to live?
And you know, especially in this day and age, desperately need our help. You know, and even the you know, the charities that maybe only get the 10% of the money because they didn't maybe get quite as many votes as somebody else did. You know, they have the opportunity, they're getting their word out, so that, and then we in the audience have a chance to see what are the needs. And, you know, maybe you didn't get a lot of money, but maybe you got a couple of volunteers. Maybe you got some, you know, other types of in-kind donations or whatever. I mean, there's nothing bad that comes from it. And the thing that always baffles me is that I don't know why I don't have 500 women. I don't know why. You know, because to me, it's a no-brainer. You know, but I get that different people have their own way of doing things and support different charities and stuff like that. But, you know, I also don't know why every woman in this office isn't on one of my 100 women. You know, a lot of them are, because it can only it will help you as a person because you're going to feel good about yourself. It's going to help you, the business person, because it'll help you grow your business, and it helps the community. Like, everybody wins.
Everybody wins. What are some notable organizations that you've donated to? Because I was on the website and I was just scrolling forever.
I know.
Because you have donated a lot of money to a lot of organizations
We
over
have.
the years.
Well, our last fall we did Shop with the Cop. That was the last meeting, our December meeting of last year, where the top vote getter got all the money. But Shop with the Cop, Fuel the Force, Bucks County Opportunity Council, Family Services of Bucks County Housing Group, Shamrock Reigns. It's a horse farm that does equine therapy for veterans with PSTD. Mitzvah Circle, who supports, different charities and different needs in a variety of ways. I mean, we just there's a ton of them, and every month we just did what was it called? Kin Health Services, who support women who are going through breast cancer. Pine to Pink. We've done, people who dealt with trafficked women. You'd think, oh, there aren't any trafficked women in Bucks County. Wrong, there are. It's just, and like, who knew about that? Who knew about Shamrock Reigns? That, the one that does the equine therapy for the vets. Like, who knew about that? I didn't know about that.
Wow.
There's a woman who takes her mini ponies and does like therapy for kids, that are recovering or in the midst of cancer. Just all sorts of things.
And I think that really is a testament more to Bucks County about how many people truly just want to give back to the community and do whatever they can in whatever niche way that they feel they can contribute.
Exactly. Everyday people who take it upon, something happens in their lives, or they're witness to something, and take it upon themselves to create these organizations to help others, and then fight tooth and nail for funding. I mean, God love them. What I do is easy, and I'm thrilled to be able to support those people. But, it's there's just such a need out there. A couple of organizations that deal with autistic children, and these people get up every single day and try and do right by others, and scrabble together the funds, to be able to do it. So, like I said, man, I wish I had 500 women. So, hey, anybody that's listening that wants to join me, I would love for you and everybody to join me. So.
And how do they join?
Well, they can go on although I'll say this just because I keep pretty busy, and the whole goal with this charity is to keep it simple. But then go on 100womeninbucks.org. They can reach out to you, who will get a hold of me. They can email me at lynne@lynnekelleher.com. LYNNE, 2 N's and an E, and Kelleher is KELLEHER. Lynne@lynnekelleher. They can reach out to me, and I'll invite them to the next meeting. They can wait and come and see what we're all about. I'm telling you, you come to the meeting, you'll join.
Awesome.
Can't vote if you don't join. But and when you do join, you're on the hook for a year. Got to commit to a year.
Perfect. $100 per quarter, $400 for the year.
Right.
And then wine is extra.
That's exactly right. You buy your own wine.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all
perfect.
good.
And all of this information is going to be listed in the podcast notes below. If you're listening on Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube, it'll all be available right down there. Lynne's email address, the website, all of that. Perfect. So now I like to move into a segment called the Big Three.
Okay.
The Big Three are 3 questions that I ask everybody that comes onto the podcast. So, Lynn, my first question for you is, what do you think makes Bucks County a great place to live?
I can't think of very many other places that have a location like Bucks County that is not subject to extreme weather. Okay, so we don't have to worry about, generally, hurricanes, tornadoes, avalanches, mudslides, forest fires, anything like that. Where you can get into New York City in 90 minutes, Philly in 60 minutes or less. Well, yeah, now with 95 clothes, but whatever.
Yeah.
You can go to the theater in New York. You can go to the theater in Philadelphia. You can go to the beach. You can go to the mountains. You can observe other cultures and go out to Amish country. You can hike, bike, several national parks in our own backyard, fish on the river. Like, what's not to love about Bucks County? I love it here.
You can do it all.
You can do it all, for crying out loud, and I just, you can wander around and, not far and, go to Valley Forge State Park. You can watch the reenactment of Washington crossing the Delaware on Christmas Day. You can bike the towpath along the canal. You can, whatever. You can wander around in Doylestown or Newtown or Langhorne or Percy, whatever. Like, what's not to like about Bucks County?
Yeah, and honestly, being a realtor it's the location sells itself.
Oh yeah,
it really.
And there's a lot of
itself.
variety. So I don't know. I love it here.
Awesome. What are some of your favorite restaurants in Bucks County?
Okay. So I told this story to you last time, Alex, and I think you're like, I don't know if you've recovered from it, but my husband, I've been married for 46 years.
That's incredible.
And I got married quite young. And so for those of you who are listening, don't mistake the gray hair for being an old fart. But he's a very simple man who sometimes has an aversion to white tablecloths. And if it's a crazy day, and I don't have time to cook, his favorite meal is scrambled eggs and hot dogs. Like, his mother was a horrible cook, so he appreciates whatever I do, but he loves scrambled eggs and hot dogs. So as a result, I know, everybody, that's right, take a deep breath. Because it's not so different from, like, scrambled eggs and sausage, really, when you think about it, but whatever. So we don't do a lot of fine dining. We do a lot of, I love the Iron Oven in Southampton on Street Road. I like Tony's on Bristol Road in Ivy Land. There's an Italian restaurant, and the name escapes it because it's a bring your own, right on York Road in Warminster. It's fabulous. I really like BYOBs because I like to bring my own wine. My husband doesn't drink, which is great for me because then I can. And it kills me when a glass of wine that I know they paid $7 for the bottle is like, $16.
Oh.
So, so yeah.
Awesome. I've never actually been to Tony's. I'm gonna have to
Tony's
try
is
it.
great. They've got a great, they've got a lot of outdoor seating, which is fun. They've got great pizzas, some interesting salads. Like, the food is good. It's not like, going to Applebee's or something like that. I don't ever like to go, and hey, no slam on Applebee's, but I'd rather support a local business person,
Absolutely.
Oh, and for breakfast, Cafe Madison in Holland, or the Robin Hood in Southampton.
Ooh.
Yeah, right on 2nd Street Pike in Southampton. Everybody's always very friendly.
Yeah.
So they kind of make you feel at home.
Yeah, Cafe Madison French toast is
I know.
elite. Absolutely elite. Awesome. And my last question for you, Lynn, is where can people find out more about you and 100 Women Who Care in Bucks County?
They can go to 100womeninbucks.org. they can go to my website about me, LynneKelleher.com, or they can email me at Lynne at LynneKelleher.com.
Awesome. Lynne, thank you so much for coming out today to talk about 100 Women Who Care in Bucks County. I'm so excited to see the continued growth of this organization because it really is just a very efficient way where divided $100 it might not make a huge difference, but collectively it truly does. And when we come together as a community to take care of each other, everything is always better.
And that is always the case, isn't it? Well, thanks, Alex. This was a blast. And as always, I enjoy our conversations.
I always enjoy our conversations, Lynne. Thank you again. And as always, I'm your host, Alex Neff. Make sure to reach out if you have any questions about Bucks County living.